My name's Robin McClay. I'm from Kuujjuaq, Quebec. Do you know where your bass player is?
Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Friday. Hope you're going to have an amazing weekend. Welcome to episode number 222 of SMG Viewers Comments, the show where I try and answer your comments and questions to the best of my ability. Anyway, let's get right to it.
Glenn, this is a spectacularly mundane question, so why would you read it? Is it worth the band using the same make and model of tuner? What about clip-ons versus a chain? I notice when I'm being lazy that when I swap between a Snark and a Fender clip-on, they ain't the same. I understand it's calibration, but with recording it seems to make a difference as I've learned. Do you recommend just using the same tuner, make, model for every instrument?
Dude, just from practical experience, I'd recommend going one step further and using the exact same tuner on all the instruments. So there are no issues for calibration, not only between brands, but between actual units from the same brand. Yes, I've run into that problem where guitar players have used the exact same model tuner and come up with two different tunings, and we've had to throw tracks out. So it's not worth taking chances on. Make sure everybody uses the same fucking tuner. I don't care if it's clip-on or it's a rack tuner or what have you. You know what? Just have a fucking tuner and make sure it works well. My personal favorite clip-on is the Polytune from TC Electronic. I love these clip-on tuners because you don't have to actually have anything mic'd or plug anything in for it to work. They're pretty fucking accurate. I really like them a lot. And I got this as part of a gift bag there for Henning's 42 Gear Street, and this is the Strobo Stomp from Peterson. And Peterson used to make these awesome strobe tuners back in the day, and this is kind of like their digital version of it. We were using these at 42 Gear Street, and they're pretty fucking incredible.
I think the Loudness War doesn't apply to metal. It actually helps.
Well, Ian, you know what? You got it wrong. You know why? Because physics applies to all genres. When you kill dynamics, you create ear fatigue. More on that coming up very soon on my Loudness Wars episode. Yes, I'm finally getting around to writing that one.
657 draws the line at Nazism. So do you condone censorship? Not defending Nazis. But if you have one extreme love of all and rainbow this and diversity that, shouldn't you have the other end of the spectrum too? I mean, if you're really about the recording process versus the content of the music, let's not have a double standard when it comes to free speech. I mean, it's like the bakers not wanting to bake a cake for a gay couple's marriage. How is that unacceptable while willfully turning away someone on the other end of the spectrum isn't?
Oh man, you know, I kind of debated about taking this one on, but you know what? Fuck it, I've never been one to hold back my opinions. Okay, Spike Fleet, first and foremost, not defending Nazis, but nothing said before the word but means a goddamn thing. You're not defending Nazis, but yes you are. So first and foremost, the thing about the bakers not wanting to bake a cake for a gay couple. Here's the difference between a gay couple who wants to get married and Nazis. People are born gay. They don't get a choice in that matter. It happens. People are born different. Fucking get over it. On the other hand, nobody is born a Nazi. You have to learn that hate, and you have to work at it to maintain it. So apparently I have to spell it out for you. Some people are born differently. Others work really hard at being terrible human beings. Another reason why I won't work with quote-unquote Nazis is because my grandfather and his brothers put their lives on hold to go over to Europe to fight the real Nazis. And if you need more reasons why people shouldn't be working with Nazis, please read a history book. Last time I checked, people campaigning for gay rights weren't responsible for the murder of 6 million innocent people. I absolutely support free speech. If somebody wants to be a Nazi and go out in the streets and do their Nazi protest bullshit, that's absolutely their right, and I'm not going to get in the way of that. I'd rather see people for what they are. Yes, absolutely. And then we can challenge their viewpoints. That's how free speech works. However, when it comes to bands I choose to work with in the studio, I'm gonna quote John Lennon on this one. When you talk about destruction, don't you know you can count me out.
When it comes to room mics on a drum set, do you use one mono mic or a stereo pair?
Actually, for the longest time in here, I used to use one mono room mic, and then I got myself a pair of Rode ribbon mics, the NTRs. They're fucking amazing. I got those in like the back corners, and they're pretty cool. At the Hollywood studio, I really like those V67s we've got from Jay-Z microphones. Those are amazing, and I just spread those out as wide as I possibly can. So yeah, I definitely prefer a stereo pair over a mono, but honestly, just make sure you get a room mic up somewhere, hit it hard with compressor, and you're gonna like the results. Hey everybody, this episode of SMG Viewers Comments is sponsored by me and my SMG Cockblocker Noise Gate. It is the finest noise gate you are ever gonna play. It's available now for $219, shipped worldwide. Get in on the pre-order, get it while you can. We're over halfway sold out, and they're selling way faster than I ever anticipated. Follow the link in the description below. Now back to the show. And now it's time for
The Butthurt of the Week. Lame video. Unfollowing Spectre because honestly, all your videos are just negative. You, sir, have become the equivalent of a bass player. Sad because you started off so well.
This was in response to my last Bully Guitars video I did with Henning that we had a little bit of fun with. Totally doesn't have anything to do with the fact that the guy's playing a Les Paul in his thumbnail.
You know, I used to hate Glenn and his attitude, but I now understand that that attitude is because he wants you to have a good album and he wants to put his name on quality and not crap. So in reality, his attitude benefits your album and he is helping out.
Oh no, they're on to me.
Is there a way for me to declip an audio file without needing RX?
You used to be able to do it in Sauce Studio. You actually used to be able to go in and just like redraw the waveform manually, and that saved my ass more than a couple times. I don't know if you can do that in other software. Bob Lentini was definitely kind of on his own plane of existence when it came to audio production software, definitely. That being said, seriously, if you don't have RX by Isotope, get it. It will definitely save your ass. I use it all the time. I use it as a denoiser. I use it as a debreather. That kind of stuff just to kind of clamp down. It is seriously the best audio toolbox I've ever had. It's fucking great. Run, don't walk, go get it.
Hey Glenn, would you consider making a detailed video on making a mix sound totally different from the modern style? While you already do have some informative videos, they're kind of scattered into multiple short ones. I was thinking maybe one whole video where you can explain other options we can take to make different sounding mixes. Thanks and fuck you. Seriously, fuck you.
Well, Trevor, that sounds like a great idea. You can also get one of my premium lessons where I do exactly that. I've got mixing math rock, mixing symphonic folk metal, and producing prog metal. You can even get those as a package, and you can check them out at Pro Mix Academy, and those take you through the entire process. Exactly what you're looking for.
Hey Glenn, any thoughts on AKG condenser mics? I was thinking to buy one for a long time, but now I think I'm really not sure whether I should go with them. I'm talking like $200 to $300 budget. Cheers from Russia, and fuck you, Glenn.
The AKG stuff is phenomenal. I really like a lot of their stuff. My friend Dave from over on Mixbus TV, he really likes the 414 on metal guitars. I've been kind of messing around with that a little bit with the one we've got at Harmony, and yeah, there is something to that. I'm not too sure about some of the cheaper ones. Bear in mind, you know, the AKG stuff's great, but there's a lot of really great inexpensive condenser mics. Rhode's got some killer stuff. Roswell has some absolutely killer inexpensive microphones. The Mini K47s are some of my personal favorites, and the Lewitt LCT series as well. You're not going to go wrong with any of those choices. Seriously, there's a wealth of amazing inexpensive microphones out there. All you got to do is look.
You ever go as a guest to recording schools? I think your input on how the real day-to-day life is and general tips that you've gained would be an enormous contribution. Teachers got to stick to the curriculum. You don't.
Yes, I've done several guest appearances at the Ontario Audio Recording Institute of Technology, or OEART for short. I've done some drum sessions in there. I've done some just general, hey, this is what it's like actually working in the studio sessions as well. Lots of fun, great facility. And if you're looking for a recording school, I definitely recommend checking out, especially if you're an American, because you're going to get 40 cents on the dollar. It will definitely save you a small fortune.
Hey Glenn, is ADAT transmission still a big thing in the modern studio environment? Should I look for it when buying new hardware, or has it just become obsolete these days? Keep up the good work, and fuck you from Germany, only 35 kilometers away from Tolman.
Hey dude, you know what? ADATs are used all over the place. I mean, like Thunderbolt's definitely starting to come into play, but I've got this Audient unit here hooked up to my RME Fireface via ADAT, and it works fucking great. And besides, an audio interface with some ADAT in the back can help you be backward compatible with earlier units as well. So if you find like an 8-channel converter or something like that that might be a few years older and you want to use them on some auxiliary channels, chances are you're going to hook it up via ADAT. So yes, definitely get something with ADAT.
Hey Glenn, in the day and age of constant gratification where the new hot thing is to release singles for short attention spans, do you think it's worth the time for a small studio project band to do a concept album? Love the content, thanks, and greetings from the Sunshine State.
Ooh, that's a tough one. You know, I always tell bands these days, yeah, do like a single or an EP or something like that, but full albums, it's been a long time since I've done one of those because of exactly those reasons you mentioned, the shortest attention spans. So I don't know, maybe if you're to do a concept record but release it in several parts, that might be the way to go, but I can just see that being a huge waste of time and effort. Here's the thing about concept albums, very few bands have ever been able to pull them off. Sure, you get the Who's Tommy every once in a while, or SF Sorrow by the Pretty Things, which is pretty fucking cool. But then again, you can also get The Elder from Kiss or Nostradamus from Judas Priest. You know, both those albums are kind of, I don't know. And those are major fucking bands. Nobody's even heard of you guys. So, I mean, you know, go with what you are.
Hey Glenn, here's an interesting one. What do you think about tracking 2 or 3 instruments at the same time in the studio? That's how my band recorded our newest single, and we recorded the keyboard and vocals at the same time, and then the drums and bass at the same time. We did that at the same time, and I think it's a great method. Have you tried that too? Thanks, and shalom from Israel.
Yes, actually, I've done a couple records over the last couple decades where we track the band, usually a couple guitar players sitting around the drummer, and you know what? We have a lot of fun, and there's definitely a certain vibe on those records I don't think you get very often anymore, especially in today's modern, sanitized, everything to the fucking grid bullshit we call heavy metal these days. I did Forgetting the Constant Fear by Face Down like that, where we had the 2 guitar players. Yeah, we just had an absolute blast doing it. And I did one in here a couple years ago where it was a drummer, a guitar player, and a bass player, just an instrumental thing. We think we laid down like 8 tracks in a day, and it went great. And I did this band called Nuclear Sunrise where we recorded the guitars, bass, and drums all at the same time, then tracked the vocals after. Again, killer fucking vibe. I wish we could do more records like that. At Harmony in LA, we've got our main room, and we've got 3 ISO booths as well. So I'm definitely gonna try doing some live stuff in there and seeing how it goes.
Dealing with this right now. First paying recording session and the band can't play to a click in time with each other. Had a meeting 3 weeks before recording and told them to practice to a metronome, and apparently it didn't help.
Or more than likely, they just didn't bother.
Hey Glenn, do you prefer recording self-taught musicians or classically trained ones? Greetings from Kansas.
You know what? I really don't have a preference for either. If a musician can come in and lay down his parts and do it with some passion and some feeling, that is what matters more than any kind of education can. All right, everybody, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, the SMG Cockblocker Gate is still up for grabs in the pre-order. It's selling out way faster than I ever thought it was going to be. We've got a few left, but they are going quick. So if you want to get one, get in on the pre-order now because it is a limited edition. And once the pre-order is over, it will not be available again. Seriously, it's the greatest gate pedal I have ever played, and it is $219 shipped anywhere in the world. Thanks again for watching. Please leave a comment or a question or something. I want to hear from you guys. I love hearing from you guys. And until next week, Hasadiga Eboy.